Looking for an early boost in the snow, and Steve Derham thought he'd give them it, but Saints tacklers just managed to turn him on his back. And one disallowed effort was to be followed by another. Steve Carroll worked the scrum well, and he got Peter Lister to within a couple of yards of the St Helens try line. He was hauled down, but the move continued. And when the ball was flung out to the left, Paul Fraser really opened up the Saints' defence. Ronnie Sharp certainly thought he'd scored. But the touch judge had other ideas, and the officials stuck together. Well, as so often happens, as soon as the Saints had a sortie, they scored. Bramley's move broke down, and there could have been no one better to take advantage than Great Britain centre Paul Loughlin. He couldn't convert his own try, though, but Saints came again just before the half-hour. New starlet Sean Devine got things in motion, and Paul Forber's strength and ability to get the ball away in the tackle enabled Les Quirk to go over. And this time, Loughlin had got his eye in, and the Saints led 10-0. Things really looked grim for Bramley when Shane Cooper found a gap, and that try made it 14-0. What's more, Paul Loughlin doesn't miss from there. But the villagers showed great resistance and character to come back within 5 minutes. No one typified that more than Calvin Hopkins, whose sheer tenacity carried him to the line. Carroll's conversion, academic. And Bramley really thundered into life 4 minutes later. Lex Neal's astute kick had Peter Lewis sprinting for the line. Good kick ahead, and although the ball eluded him, Neal was there. What a good time to pounce. And what a good kick from Carroll. Another St Helens indiscretion gave Carroll the chance to narrow the margin to 2 points, and he missed the opportunity to bring the scores level. But Saints clinched their place in the next round. Loughlin just wouldn't be bogged down. His strength was enough in the end to pave the way for a try again in the corner by Les Quirk, his second of the match. That was enough to see the Saints through. And Loughlin's touchline conversion made the final score Brave Bramley 14, St Helens 22.
And a brave 9 decades, York's home was at Clarence Street, near the city centre. Last summer, they moved to this, a real greenfield site in the district of Rochdale, hence the addition to the team's name. And today, a mile or two from the Minster, the Rochdale Stadium is itself a sign of the times, catering not just for professional rugby league, but as a sports centre for the whole community.
What we find as a rugby club now, we have the facilities, which is used by the community as well as ourselves, for a gym and everything that we want to go alongside the playing staff at York Rugby League. The Board of Directors looked upon it as what a wonderful thing it would be, whereas we'd been used to not such good facilities, and it was a new opportunity, and if we get it right, we've got a first-class stadium to go along with the success on the field. What we've got to do is to get success, and this is what we're trying to do, but with the first-class facilities and community use.
The much talked about rugby league boom has left most of the second division behind. A glance at the attendances for the last full programme of fixtures shows. So promotion is all important, especially for a team like Rochdale, who've spent heavily.
Obviously, the money we've invested was with a view to getting into Division 1, not necessarily this season, but things have gone so well now, and we're so well advanced into the season, that it'd be a pity to miss out this season.
Well, Alan Agar's team are 2 points clear of Hulkingston Rovers and Oldham. They played a game more than each of them, but a game fewer than Rydale York, who are in 4th place, 3 points behind the leaders. Rochdale's promotion drive owes much to the experience of John Woods, a wealth of First Division know-how and Rochdale's record signing. And he's not just a figurehead to inspire his teammates. He's set up a new Division 2 record with a try in each of his last 12 matches. The inspirations work too, though. Rochdale have been leaving defenders in their wake all season as they streak ahead of their more fancied rivals in the league. Their spectacular play has also left them the division's highest scorers. Well, Rochdale today welcomed back John Woods, who was injured for the midweek cup win over Carlisle. The ex-Swinton men, Mark Biller at fullback and John Myler at loose forward, also returned. They were ineligible for the cup tie. And Neil Cowie starts the game because of injuries to McDermott and Gamble. For York, much will depend on Gary Adkins. He's settled his differences with the club and will hope to repeat the form he showed in front of the scrum-down cameras last season. Against the leaders, Lee, he displayed the skills which were later to attract Hull and Halifax, among other clubs. He got on the end of one of the best moves of the match that day. He did go on loan to Halifax, but now he's looking for promotion with Rochdale York. And today's game is one they must win.
We've got to win today. If we don't, we're going to struggle. We're hoping on. If we don't win today, we're banking on other people to beat them. So we've got to beat them.
Today, York moved Brendan Carlisle to fullback. Paul White plays his first game since November. Mark Formina, who toured with New Zealand, makes his debut for York. And Graham Sullivan moves to loose forward because Jeff Price has strained a hamstring. Well, if this ground isn't buzzing today, it never will be, because it's the Wasps playing the Hornets. Sheffield Eagles versus Wakefield to come later. But now let's hear from David Watkins and John Hell.
So here we go. Brendan Carlisle gets the game in motion for Rochdale York. The first time we've covered them on scrum down under their new name. The ball coming off the leg of the Rochdale Hornets player. So it'll be kick out, drop out right under their own posts. And I imagine, David, that wind is going to be crucial today. Once again, it's a strong, blustery sort of a wind in this very wide open expanse.
It says it's an open ground and the wind is coming down in favour of Rochdale York. They were out early this morning doing the 2 drives and the long kick forwards, and I would imagine that's the tactic they would have to use this afternoon to be successful.
Well, we've got 2 very wily old coaches here in Gary Stevens from Rochdale York and Alan Agar of Rochdale Hornets. Widely respected in the game, both of them. And Stuart Horton is acting half-back, the hooker. And the big prop forward is Paul Maxwell. Many of this York side have come from local clubs like the York All Blacks and Hewitt. They've got a fair New Zealand contingent as well today. The little chip over the top was from Hamilton, one of those local men I was talking about. The New Zealanders in the side, Basil Aki, who wears 3, Dave Watson wearing 6, Mark Formina wearing 11. Ball lost, and that'll be tackled straight away by Rochdale Hornets, with the referee over there, Colin Tidball from Wakefield, is our official today. He's there. So referee Tidball awards the first scrum of the game. Watson, every time he gets the ball, you sense there's a bit of danger. And it's Aki. Now it's back for the wingman. It was Kettlestring. Stuart Horton. Thought of the drop goal there, and once more the ball is lobbed back by Formina. So there's some enterprising work here from York, and Watson, the pass just spun out of Paul White's fingers. Blindside run from Cowie. I think David Alan Agar has done a very good job at Rochdale this season, because it's virtually a new team, is this? He's brought a lot of players in.
It certainly is, and the brand of football they've already started to show this afternoon has proved that a lot of hard work has gone into it and it's come out very well.
Here's some good running, some exciting running. He had plenty of the field to work in there, did Kettlestring, and he used it. With the locals who's come into the side in recent weeks. Huge long ball flung out to Aki. That might have prized them open, and the ball inside is excellent. And Brendan Carlisle goes skipping towards the line. And a crucial tackle there. Very, very good tackle indeed by Andy Sullivan. Penalty awarded to York.
Well, there was really no need of that then, interfering with the play of the ball, because they did all the hard work. They'd stopped what was an excellent run by Brendan Carlisle, and as a result of that, I would have thought they would have better been getting into defence and organising themselves properly. Instead of that, they've given away a penalty.
And they've chosen to run it. And they're right under those sticks with 5 tackles to go. So could this be the moment for Rydale York? Well, they've plenty of men up there. He's got the chance to go a bit further and didn't take it, but Maxwell, and there must be a try. It's the first try for Stuart Morris. The former Dewsbury player has powered his way over, and he's so dangerous close to the line, is Morris. That's try number 8 for him this season. Good time to get it. Just the start that Rydale York needed.
Well, this turned out to be an excellent decision. They had an opportunity to kick for goal. They decided to throw the ball about. They caught Rochdale unawares, and by quick passing the ball across the line, the strong running Morris gets over.
He's a great big strapping chap, is Stuart Morris, and you can imagine him rampaging his way through a few defences. Very good bye he's proved from Crown Flat. Well, it's a diabolical day for goal kickers. So help has been enlisted by Sullivan this time, and he's no more successful. But it's difficult to be critical of kickers on a day like this.
And it is really a little bit of a hit or a miss situation, as it's proving for the loose forward then, Graham Sullivan. But by taking this tap penalty here, it made all the difference, because I believe it caught Rochdale unawares, and Morris then gambles straight through the defence and crashes over.
Strong pack of Rochdale, and they do make progress when they come forward like that. Cowie has taken the ball inside York's half, and it's a penalty this time to Rochdale Hornets, offside. It was Maxwell. It's straight, but I think they'll run it, because there's very little for kickers today. And this is Tony Humphries. He's a glutton for work, is Humphries. He's not the most spectacular player, probably, but at Warrington he found the competition a bit stiff there. They've got a lot of players. It's another penalty. But Humphries has been an excellent acquisition, and here come Rochdale now with Lonergan, and York are in trouble. It's a fine tackle by Maxwell. It had to be as well. Lonergan was looking all on a scorer. If not him, you fancied somebody on his outside. Sullivan turns the ball back in to his hooker Hall. This is the closest Hornets have been to the York line. There's still a couple of tackles to come. With John Woods to dictate. Now, here he is, Woods. A long ball, flung out, and Lonergan only just held on, but he did do. Now that's 4. Myler. Yeah, that's a good ball. And he's getting away, and he's within 10 yards, is Mark Nixon. On the last tackle, though, Higgins has come along. And this is good passing. This is where York might be susceptible. The ball is still being moved out wide, and he's picked it up, and he's over in that corner. And the try is given. The wingman Brian Geraghty, and that was Rochdale keeping the ball alive that opened the way for their response.
Well, Rochdale are playing under pressure from a strong wind, and they've had to move the ball out as often as possible, and in order to do this they've had to keep it going. Straight out again from here and keeps the play in motion. Geraghty picks up a very difficult ball, wards off 3 tacklers to get in at the corner.
John Woods, with Steve Turner on the bench, is taking the responsibilities of the goal kicker. makes this, it'll be a miracle. The wind blowing in his face. There was never much chance. So he's kicked many a goal in his time, but not on that occasion. 4 apiece it is. Now then, there's a chance for Paul White to pick it up and have a go. Tall, rangy runner White, and he goes in field. Took 2 to bring him down, as always. So Hamilton, Watson. Sullivan swings it back to Hamilton. York are certainly making inroads, and they've got a penalty because Neil Cowie has strayed too far. He was right under the referee's nose as well when he did that.
Well, that's the advantage of playing the ball very quickly, as Villas did then. He played it quick, Chris Hamilton rather, played it very quickly. And as a result of that, the Rochdale side had moved up, or hadn't gone back, in fact, and as a result, it's a penalty now for Rochdale York.
Well, there should be a big cheer if anybody manages to put one over today. Normally, this would be a very easy kick for the like of Graham Sullivan, and I think he's managed it, has he? No, not so. So 4 points apiece, no change there. That kick looks as though it was going straight through to me.
It did look very, very close from here, but obviously 2 linesmen were there and the referee, and they decided he wasn't to be.
There might be some room out here if they can work it. Nixon just holds on with the aid of a bounce. Now Lonergan again. Well, it's gone right across the field, right back again. And he's into touch. 10 minutes to go. Now Watson, again he looks dangerous. Horton. Well, nobody's shirked to tackle. It's been excellent as that facet of the game. Shouts of a forward pass from the people who've come over the Pennines from Rochdale. Hamilton holds on, and there you might be in trouble here now. That was Basil Aki, the former junior All Black. And this is Watson. Watson's so close, it's got to be another try for Morris. He's there at the shoulder again. And it's turning into quite a game for Stuart Morris. And what he's doing is following Dave Watson around, and Watson's finding him so close to the line, there's just no stopping him. 2 for York, 2 for Morris.
Watson has proved a lively character all afternoon, and he's been a real thorn in Rochdale's defence. He draws the defence excellently here, and again Morris crashes over.
So Carlisle with a kick for York, which looks good this time. It's plumb through the middle. So what Graham Sullivan couldn't do today, Brendan Carlisle could, and Rydell York at 10-4 ahead. Well, I'm sure that Rochdale Hornets players will know that there's only 3 or 4 minutes to go to the break, and that they don't want to concede anything else because they've got their chance coming up. York have the possession, and they're running purposefully. That was a lovely move. Carlisle to Atkins, and Atkins keeps going. And now Paul White. White is only a few yards out. Well held this time, but here's a real chance for Rydell York to go into a more convincing lead before the break. And this will be the last tackle, so will they run it? Will they try to get another 4 or even 6 points? The long ball, good passing. Horton, Aki, oh, it's got to be a score. It's Morris's hat-trick. What a half it's turning out to be for Stuart Morris. Well, he's really the man on the job today. He's popping up in the right place every single time. A little shake of the head from Stuart Morris. I think he can't believe it himself.
Well, their brand of football has been superb. The movement has come all the way from one end of the field to the other, and then it's David Watson whose long pass out starts it all off again. Then it's a quick succession of passes, and Stuart Morris again on the end of it. Just goes to show what an enterprising forward he is.
It's an important kick, is this one, for both sides. Another couple of points would really make that lead look impressive, but it's not to be. So Rochdale breathe a little easier. They've still got a couple of minutes to survive, and it's 14-4. Few shouts of "come on Hornets" down beneath me. They're not used to getting beaten this season, so there'll be just a little bit of talking to do in the dressing room from Alan Agar. Oh, it's an awkward bounce for David Kettlestring. That just tells you how impressive Rochdale have been away from Scotland this season. Oh, what a good break again here for York. Well, another try now really would be a clincher, and they've kept the move going. That was Watson again. He's had a marvellous half, the Kiwi half-back. And here he is again. He's just non-stop. He and Morris have torn them apart, and here's Morris plunging forward once more. We're so close to the hooter. And Rydale York conjure up another try. They've got three. Watson's ball to Horton, who's through the gap. And Aki couldn't take it. I said he was through the gap, but somebody just managed to tap the ankle. Otherwise, I think it would have been try number 4. So respite for Rochdale. Sullivan, oh, that was brilliant by Woods, that really was clever, and now he's got Sullivan going, but Aki throws the ball back, and he's thrown it straight to Kettlestring. Well, that was extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen that, where he turned around and threw the ball 20 yards back to a York player. It's nearly like an own try. Oh, it's going to be another one for York. What a magnificent run, the timing by Brendan Carlisle there, and the joy is there for all to share. Brendan Carlisle has deserved a try, because as you said, David, earlier, he's timed his runs into the line so well on occasions, and there he spotted his opportunity, and there was no stopping him.
Well, Rochdale have tried to push forward all the time. They continue to try and run the ball out of situations. This is what they've had to do because the wind has been so strong. But an amazing pass back here to Kettlestring, who picks it up and hares for the line in the opposite direction. He's brought down by a great tackle. But Rydale now have position, and what they must do is move it, because they must catch this Rochdale bench unawares. And by doing just that, Carlisle, who's timed his runs into the line every time at perfection, shoots through a mass defence and scores a great try. Well, the game plan was obvious. They've had to put as much pressure as possible on it. Now, Brendan Carlisle has always timed his runs perfectly into the line. The defence is caught napping. He straightens up and scores at the post.
Well, what a half it's turning out to be. It really is extraordinary, but I do emphasise it's not over yet, because the wind is playing a considerable part in this match. So can Carlisle convert his own try? He can, he's a popular chap, all right. And he'll certainly deserve his half-time orange and cup of tea. 20 points to 4. The leaders are in trouble. So there goes the hooter. What an entertaining half, but it's the Wasps who have really been stinging more than the Hornets. And an outstanding performance from Dave Watson, and Stuart Morris there goes away with 3 tries to his name already, 1 for Brendan Carlisle as well. So 20 points to 4, Rochdale's only reply to those 4 tries, the one from Garrity. It looks like being a cracking second half as well here. Well, it's certainly going to be a fascinating second half. A couple of scenarios possible here. Rochdale could come right back, or York, if they got another try, might find themselves so far in front the Hornets wouldn't be able to come back.
Yes, you have to imagine what the two coaches must have been saying. Gary Stevens will be delighted with his game plan. He's got the lead he wanted against the wind. He now knows he has to play it safe and stop Rochdale coming at him. Alan Ager at the same time will be rather annoyed. He's let as many points in, and his side know full well they have to use the wind to full advantage.
Yes, those two tries in the last 5 minutes of the half could prove critical in the final analysis, but it's a promising start by Rochdale to the half. That was Marsden making good ground. And now Humphreys, and he's purposeful, and Tony Humphreys is not more than a few yards out, and the hooker. Oh, it was a good tackle on Hall. Hall was there, he was only 5 yards out. If he'd managed to squeeze the pass out to the wing, Higgins was storming up. So our usual scrum down look at the statistics of the match, and the scrums in the first half went Rydale York's way 7-4. Rochdale, though, took the only one to go against the head, and the penalties conceded another low count, 4 by York, 3 by Rochdale, and the errors in play also commendably low on a day like this, 6-3. I use the phrase commendable, and I think that's the right phrase on a day like this.
It certainly is, because both sides have played great football, and the crowd are very appreciative here this afternoon of the football that's gone on.
So as we expected, probably Rochdale are penning York back inside their own half straight away. It's a question of whether they can apply the pressure and produce the points. Sullivan, he worked that beautifully, and Sullivan's going for the line, and the pass inside. Ooh, the tackle was strong, but Mark Nixon looked for all the world as though he was going to be a scorer. An excellent tackle to stop him. And I think York are going to have all on here. No more than 5 yards out. Sullivan again, who's been instrumental at the start of this half in a couple of good moves, but he can't get it away this time. Little chip up. It's fumbled over his own line, and he has to come out and get away. It was Hamilton. Fortunately for Rydale York, he put the ball back. Didn't knock on. Testing moments for the home side, and Aki tries to bring them clear. He's a strong lad. Former champion sprinter back home in New Zealand. Well, it may be a second division match, but there's been some really attractive rugby. Top rugby league action, this. Two sides who are trying might and main to provide entertainment, as Hamilton does there, and he was caught around the cheek by Cowie. I think that was probably one of those that looked worse than it was.
Yes, it was a half hour. He knew he'd gone high, and he really held off it. Just look at this now. He makes the break, sells the dummy, the hooker goes in to tackle him, then there it is up on top, but he just hung it off. There was no maliciousness about that, a result of which the referee allowed play to go on, give them the penalty.
Yes, good refereeing by Colin Tidball there. Some officials could have been tempted to have sent the man off. Current climate. Here comes Maxwell. Again, Watson looking lively, but this time he's given the ball away. It's the first blemish on his performance. Straight to Humphreys. So far, Rydale York have withstood all the pressure that Rochdale have been able to exert in this second half, and they've given us as good as they've got too. And here come the Hornets now with Sullivan. They really are tackling everything, and they've got the ball. Sullivan has it. That's Graham Sullivan as opposed to Handy on the Rochdale side. Two Sullivans, definitely no relations. Oh, Watson once more. But, the tackle this time was by John Myler. Again, they're willing to fling that ball around. I think it was interesting, of course, one of the rugby league rules is that you can take only a 5-minute break. You don't have to take 10 minutes, as most clubs do. And York obviously felt they'd got the momentum going in that first half, so they opted to have only a 5-minute breather. It was a great tactic, and that's a great kick as well. Well, it's all going York's way.
Well, that superb kick that was, because it's into the wind and they are using their head. Just goes to show how the players are reading the game this afternoon, because he knew he had to keep it low trajectory into the wind, and gained about 20-30 yards.
That's the penalty to Rochdale. Well, Rochdale need to try quickly. Otherwise, if York can hold on to this lead for much longer, it's going to take an awful lot of overcoming. Interesting, of course, that we saw on Scrum Down last season, York beat Lee, who went on to become the champions easily in Division 2. And here, Rochdale could, I stress, be on the way to only their second league defeat of the season against the same side. Must be something about coming to York.
No doubt they were extremely disappointed in midweek losing, of course, to Fulham, and they know that everything depends on winning all their matches now. And if they show up this sort of form, I wouldn't say by any means that it was a lost cause.
Again, that kick looks as though it'll probably go dead. So York will have to take a tap on their own 25. Morris. Been a bit of a bogey side to them over the years of Rochdale. The handball was met, of course, but certainly it's a forward pass to Watson. Otherwise, I think there might well have been another try for York. And the York fans over on that far side are not at all happy with referee Tidball.
Well, it certainly was a marginal pass, and I, for one, didn't think it was forward. And David Watson, again, really following up at breathtaking speed, nearly split the Rochdale defence, which could have proved really fatal for them.
Yes, the match might well have been over then. And, those York fans are going to be even more incensed if the Hornets do come back now. Mark Villa. Ball flung back to Lord. And Lord has been a regular try scorer this season. He's got 18. He's hardly had a sniff of the York line today. Cowie, a willing worker. And yes, that was fairly done. And Aki picks it up. Decides to go back into the middle. But he knows that if he keeps hold, they're going to have 6 tackles. So there's no point to flinging the ball around too quickly that time. Watson, he certainly does fling it. That's a long ball to Atkins, who goes down the touchline himself. Great work from Gary Atkins. He used White as a decoy, took them by surprise, and they really have been a very adventurous side on attack of Rydale York today. And they're coming looking now with Aki, who'll try and go through the gap, and he's got it away to Kettlestring. Kettlestring was just tricked unintentionally by Cowie, there was no offence. Otherwise, it might well have been another try. Well, they really do produce some flowing rugby league.
Look, just watch the way the ball is moved out. It really is inspirational stuff, this, and no doubt that Gary Stevens has already told his team, you've got to play a lot of football, you've got to get up there by playing football. Inside again, just shows the backing up has been superb. An accidental trip, lost the ball, and of course, it resulted in a scrum.
John Woods has been such a great influential figure in this game of rugby league over the years, and he'll be looking to add to that today. He's not got long now. Well, it's unusual for York not to have in their ranks Jeff Price, who's been such a marvellous servant to the club over many years, and he's just watching the play there as it comes towards him, because Jeff is round the back of the posts with Nick.
suggest so far, against the wind, your colleagues are doing remarkably well to hold Rochdale out.
Yeah, they're playing very well. Defensive side, we're playing really well today. Yeah, I think we should win today anyway.
Because really, at half-time, you must have felt you were in some danger that Rochdale would swamp you with this win.
No, but we've stuck to the basics and everything's coming off right this half.
And Stuart Morris couldn't believe it, a hat-trick, could he?
Yeah, in first half, he's played very well today, very well.
So you're confident now?
Yeah, we should win. Just hold out, to get our basics right, we should have a good win today.
Jeff, thanks very much indeed. John?
Atkins, good ball as well. And White has had some stirring runs. York have got back inside the Rochdale half again. So can they make further inroads? Watson certainly will. Good ball, lovely timing of the pass, but not from his grasp, not back though. And Rochdale have it. Penalty. Here comes Lonergan at gale force pace. Went with the wind, didn't he?
Well, he really runs hard, but the Rydell York's tackling has certainly been up to it, and 1 and 2 men have gone in every time and stopped him dead in his tracks.
Where's my shirt? I think he fancied playing in the white one. There's a longer one out, and he can't hold that. But Kettlestring just managed to keep his footing in. Hamilton, Horton. Another good run from Morris, and now there are chances because he's on the fly. Is White going down that touchline, cutting inside. Can he keep it going? Oh, that was a forward pass. And Atkins just popped up in front of him. And, Gary Atkins would love to have scored today. He scored last season on scrum down. He scored for Halifax against Dewsbury. We saw that try this year.
Well, he's certainly a powerful run. It's a superb pass by Stuart Morris here. He's taken the tackle and pushed it out to Gary Atkins, and he drew the man and put it out forward to the wing. And it's a strong run up here now, but the fullback seizes him well here, holds him up, he holds onto the ball and then takes it obviously in front of him. Referee, right decision, scrum down, Rochdale's ball.
That's a better kick. But even when they've managed to get the ball into touch, and they've done that on 2 or 3 occasions now, they've just not been able to capitalise when they've got close to the line.
No, they haven't. Their passing has been a little lethargic. They really haven't moved it out quick enough. And the defence, in fairness to Rydell York, has come up rather quickly and stifled most things before it's even got off the ground.
In fact, the best move of the second half was the one where Watson was pulled up for a forward pass, which we thought was maybe a little harsh. So Rydell York could have even added to that lead. Well, he's had a good foraging game. Maxwell. Hamilton has as well, and that's a delightful break by Hamilton. And he was looking to his left, but here comes Morris on the gallop. If he'd have got a 4th try, it really would have turned into his benefit match. Hamilton, who made that break, dazzling 1-2. Watson flings the long ball out there, and Rochdale could be in some disarray if they can keep this move going, which they've been able to do up till that point. And for the second week running, it looks as though we might have a second half without a point in it.
Yes, but I think you have to commend the sides, because whilst the long ball has been passed out, some of them have been taken out of the air with consummate ease, and it says much for the handling ability of both sides, because the weather and the wind has caused havoc here this afternoon.
Oh, the lost ball there sets Rydell York up with a real opportunity. And Carlisle will run at them, and he'll try and get his wingman Kettlestring going. Aki, I'm sure he wants to score a try, Aki. He's got close on a couple of occasions. He's run really purposefully. So Rochdale really holding on with just 5 minutes to go, and this is Maxwell storming towards the line. Atkins is nearly there, and the pass is put down at the last possible moment. So disappointment for the York fans. I think that would have been the icing on the cake for them.
It really would. Welcome relief by Rochdale. What they've really got to do, they haven't used the wind at all, really, as much as they should have done. They're in positions here now on the ones. Just look at the power of the guy as he tramples through. I mean, this is really good stuff, and I mean, it just shows the commitment that this side has had.
That's one heck of a kick downfield. That's a magnificent touch. It's about 60 or 70 yards, I would say, there.
Well, that's the sort of advantage that Rochdale have to do. There's no good really running and taking 3-4 tackles. It takes the steam up of your own forwards as well. But really, to get down there, it really puts pressure on the other side. And in this instance, Rochdale York are now back on the 10 yards from their own line.
But it looks as though Rochdale have left it too late. Certainly one or two members of the crowd think so. They're on their way home for tea. It's out for York. He's run right across the field and then dropped the ball. Could have been a gift of a try. Well, this has to be a chance for Rochdale Hornets with a scrum so close to the opposition line, and it's going to be a try as well. A simple one too for loose forward John Myler. That was a doddle. That is the problem nowadays with scrums the way they are. The referees just really pay no attention to the ball going into the scrum. It doesn't matter at all.
I think the important part of this is just showing how the ball doesn't go into the scrum at all. I mean, as soon as the ball comes out there, he just feeds it up to John Myler, who pushes off the scrum half and crashes over himself. Really just shows how bad our scrums are.
John Wood has already added on the goal points, so Rochdale are into double figures. 20 points to 10 it is. So that makes the scoreline look more respectable, but I'm still convinced it's too late for Rochdale to come back that far.
Just the thing you don't want. You score, try and get down there. You have 6 play the balls. I would have thought the next best thing to do was to run it in once or twice, get another long kick down, have a scrum, and another opportunity of getting points at the bottom end. Instead of that, he knocks on straight after, giving the advantage back to Rochdale York.
Yeah, a real shake of the head from Higgins, he knows. So nobody will have thanked him for that on his team. Here's Watson, dashing for that line. He deserves a try. Sprightly performance from the Kiwi. And they're queuing up here, looking for perhaps the last score of the afternoon. And there's Watson again, the long ball for Atkins, and Gary Atkins throws it back to Kettlestring. The ball goes to ground once more, but now Carlisle takes it to within a couple of yards. Carlisle! Everybody's wanting to get on the score sheet here. Watson and Aki and Carlisle all could have done. Here is Aki. Can he get that ball out? Watson again, flings out a huge pass. Can Morris take it? Yes, he can. Can he get down the outside for his 4th try? No, he can't. Last tackle. That was an interesting little tactic. The ball just tapped into touch.
I can't see any real advantage in doing things like that. I mean, that's all that's done is giving them another scrum, and we know how badly the scrums operate.
And a penalty given to the Hornets as well. So a bit more respite. convincing victory for Rochdale York. Their players throw their arms in the air, and they've come good on scrum down again for those spectators. Gary Stevens must be a happy man. He's with Nick.
Gary, you've done it again. You beat the lead leaders on scrum down last year. You've done it again.
Well, delighted. Tremendous to come back from a really bad defeat on Wednesday night against Fulham.
And against that wind, if I'd have said you only conceded one try in the second half, you'd be pretty pleased, wouldn't you?
Well, I think Rochdale made a very poor mistake by taking... they won the toss and they opted to play against the wind. I think it was a very, very poor decision.
Very proud of your team, I think.
Very proud of them, yes.
Gary, thanks so much indeed. John?
Yes, the Rochdale players looked crestfallen as they came off, and that is the reason Rochdale York have beaten them by 20 points to 10. There was a hat-trick for Stuart Morris, a try for Brendan Carlisle, who also kicked 2 goals. The tries for Rochdale were scored by Brian Garrity and John Myler. John Woods just popped over 1 goal. 20 points to 10. Well, David Watkins always nominates our Stonesbitter man of the match. Who's got the award this week, David?
Well, a fine game by Stuart Morris, the second row forward, in getting 3 tries. But my man of the match award this afternoon goes to David Watson. His performance has been an inspiration to his teammates. He's run at Rochdale and given the defence a torrid time. His distribution, both with short passes or indeed the long pass, has put his team on the attack time and time again and given them this afternoon a deserved victory. Well, disappointed after losing in the Cup on Wednesday, obviously, but you must think after today's performance, you have a marvellous chance of going up.
Yeah, we have a terrific chance of going up. Gary said to the boys, you know, this is our big chance in getting up there, and we come out with a win today, and it's great.
Well, you played good football this afternoon, and you most certainly played Rochdale off the park.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's good, thanks very much.
Well, Stuart, it's not often a man gets a hat-trick in a match on scrum down and doesn't win the man of the match, but I think it was a great team performance all round.
Yeah, well, as I say, we played well today, played Rochdale off the park, and, you know, from a bad performance on Wednesday against Fulham, I just hope we can continue to win and hopefully get promotion.
This must improve the morale of the side for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because we were down after Wednesday, so we'll have to go, not rest on this match and go from strength to strength and get into Division 1.
We came here wanting 2 points to help us with our promotion status, but Rochdale's come and we've played terrible, whereas York, they've played everybody from 1 to 13 have played brilliantly.
What do you put that down to then?
I think York are going up for promotion as well. I think they've lost 5 games and it was a 4-pointer for them, a 4-pointer for us. But like I said again, they stuck to their guns and they outplayed us from 1 to 13.
Let's have the match analysis now. We had a crop of scrums and York came out on top. 18 to 13 was the count. It wasn't much consolation, but Rochdale took the only one healed against the head. Again, the discipline was to be commended, especially in the second half statistic, which revealed that Hornets conceded a mere 1. Well, in really blustery conditions, handling was inevitably problematical, and both sides spilled 17 passes. Here now, today's news and results. Nick.
And Lee Crooks is sent off at Hull. Back at his first club, he only stayed on the field 8 minutes. The result, Castleford's 7th successive defeat. Elsewhere, Ivor Rapati's 2 tries in 10 minutes give Featherstone revenge for a cup defeat at Warrington. Phil Beaver's 2 tries helped St Helens beat Leeds despite the visitors' comeback from 20-0 down. Darryl Powell's 2 tries from standoff bring Sheffield's first win in 7, Wakefield's first defeat in 7. David Hobbs' 100th try of his career isn't enough to save Bradford at Leigh. John Henderson reaches his century as Oldham score 50. David Bishop gets his first rugby league hat-trick as Hull Kingston Rovers score 60. Mike Fletcher kicks 10 goals out of 10 there and is then sent off. Stonesbitter Championship results. Featherstone 20, Warrington 13. Hull 16, Castleford 6. Leigh 22, Bradford Northern 16. St Helens 32, Leeds 26. Sheffield 24, Wakefield 10. Well, let's see the action from that last game now. Sheffield entertained Wakefield at their 7th adopted home this season, Oakwell in Barnsley.
It doesn't seem to matter where he's playing to Mark Aston. The prolific point scorer soon got his name on the score sheet for the 60th successive match. Sheffield's early season promise has waned while Wakefield's star has been in the ascendancy, and the Eagles scored again. Aston's kick opening the Trinity defence for Darryl Powell. There was no conversion, but the next move produced a drop goal for Aston to nudge Sheffield further in front. Now watch for the New Zealand Maori forward Nick Howe leading the next raid. And this time it's Darryl Powell. They're popping them over from everywhere. Well, so far, very little seen of Wakefield, but they did string together one good move here. And a good intervention from James Llewellyn and a good ball as well. Mark Conway at his shoulder, and he dives over. 8 points to 4 and perhaps Wakefield were going to come back into the game. But Aston's long-range penalty made it 10 points to 4 to the Eagles at half-time. And they started the second half where they'd left off the first. A lovely little chip through from Aston, and the ball bounces kindly. Nickow picks it up, and he canters over. There's no stopping him, scoring in the perfect position. And isn't he a popular chap? An easy kick too for Aston. Wakefield showing today inexplicable in view of their recent form, although Conway did nip a couple of points back with that penalty. But now watch out for some really woeful Wakefield tackling, as Darryl Powell threads his way through about 4 defenders and finds his way all the way to the line, right at the side of the posts, and victory is in the bag. Another goal for Aston, and that's 22-6. And soon afterwards he was on the mark again, 24-6. But the last word did belong to Wakefield, producing perhaps the best scoring move of the game. Good handling, and Luluai again involved, and wingman Andy Wilson just squeezes over despite the tackle. He was a happy try scorer. He wasn't so happy when it came to the role of goal kicking though. Sheffield had won for the first time in 7, Wakefield lost for the first time in 7.
And that defeat stopped Wakefield overtaking 4th place Widnes. Wigan, who beat Widnes yesterday, have extended their lead over Leeds to 4 points. St Helens are back in contention, at least in theory. The rest would seem to be out of it. Division 2. Bramley 2, Hulkingston Rovers 60. Chorley 14, Workington 70. Hunsler 27, Doncaster 12. Keighley 6, Dewsbury 20. Nottingham 4, Huddersfield 42. Oldham 52, Fulham 4. Rydal York 20, Rochdale 10. Trafford Borough 18, Batley 12. Whitehaven 20, Runcorn 8. Well, Rochdale's promotion hopes have certainly taken a bit of a knock. They dropped to 2nd on points difference, and they played a game more than Oldham and the new leaders Hulkingston Rovers. Rydal York are now just a point behind. Dewsbury are up to 6th. Well, next week it's a Division 1 survival battle. Featherstone versus Castleford. They're both trying not to go down. For Rydal York,